Lesson 6. Motivation is overrated. Environment often matters more. In Chapter 6 of Atomic Habits, titled Motivation is Overrated, Environment Often Matters More, James Clear delves into the profound impact our environment has on our behavior and habits. This chapter begins with the intriguing case of Anne Thorndike, a physician who dramatically altered the eating habits of hospital staff and visitors simply by changing the arrangement of food and drinks in the cafeteria. This approach required no direct appeal to willpower or motivation. Clear argues that our habits are significantly influenced by our surroundings, often more than by our internal motivations. This idea challenges the common belief that self-control alone can drive behavioral change. He demonstrates how environmental cues subtly guide our actions, making us choose certain products or engage in specific behaviors because of their accessibility or visibility in our environment, rather than an active, conscious choice. The chapter explores Kurt Lewin's equation, B dar F P E, which states that behavior is a function of the person and their environment, highlighting how external changes can lead to different behaviors. This concept is further illustrated through examples of how product placement in stores influences consumer behavior and how visual cues are powerful motivators due to our reliance on sight. The message is clear. By becoming architects of our own environments, we can set up cues that lead to better habits. The chapter guides us to recognize that while motivation is a fluctuating resource, a well-structured environment can consistently nudge us towards desired behaviors. This insight is crucial for anyone looking to build new habits or change existing ones. How to design your environment for success. Now the focus shifts to the concept of environment design and its profound impact on habit formation and change. Clear emphasizes that the most effective way to foster good habits and discard bad ones is by meticulously designing our surroundings. It begins with an intriguing example from the 1970s energy crisis. A study in Amsterdam found that homeowners with electrical meters in visible locations used significantly less energy than those with meters hidden away. This story underlines a key principle. We are more likely to engage in a certain behavior if the cues for that behavior are obvious and easily noticeable. Clear explains that every habit starts with a cue, and we are more inclined to notice and act on these cues when they stand out. However, in our typical environments, many cues for beneficial habits are either not obvious or entirely absent. As a result, we often overlook or forget these habits. To counter this, Clear advises making the cues for desired habits more prominent and visible. A practical example is given with bathroom cleanliness at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. The introduction of fly stickers in urinals led to improved aim and reduced cleaning costs. Clear also shares a personal anecdote about his habit of eating apples, illustrating how simply placing apples in a visible bowl on the kitchen counter led to him consuming them more regularly. The chapter then offers practical suggestions for making cues for good habits more visible. For medication adherence, place the pill bottle next to the bathroom faucet. To practice the guitar more, put the guitar in a central location in the living room. To send more thank you notes, keep stationery visible on the desk. To drink more water, place filled water bottles in common areas around the house. Clearly highlights the importance of making the cues for our desired habits unavoidable. By strategically placing these cues in our environment, we can effortlessly be reminded of and engage in our targeted habits. He points out that most of our behaviors are influenced by the environments created by others, but by consciously designing our own environments, we can significantly shift our behaviors toward our goals. The key takeaway from this part of the chapter is that by being proactive about our environment, we can create spaces that naturally encourage productive habits while minimizing the impact of negative ones. This approach turns the environment from a passive background into an active and supportive element in our journey toward building better habits. Now, the narrative delves into the context in which we live and work, plays a pivotal role in shaping our habits. Clear illustrates that our environments are not just physical spaces, but a series of relationships that we engage with on a daily basis. Clear emphasizes that our interactions with our surroundings are more about the relationships we have with objects rather than the objects themselves. This perspective shift can be powerful in understanding and modifying our habits. For instance, a couch could be a place for reading for one person and a spot for watching TV for another, showing how different habits are tied to the same environment based on individual experiences. One of the most insightful aspects of this chapter is the concept of changing habits by changing contexts. For those struggling with certain habits, altering the environment or creating a new one can be highly effective. This approach was exemplified in a study with insomniacs, where the association of the bed with sleep was strengthened by limiting other activities like phone browsing or TV watching in bed. Clear also discusses the strategy of environment design for success. This involves creating obvious visual cues that prompt the desired behavior. For example, placing a fruit bowl in a visible area to encourage healthier eating habits, or redesigning a workspace to distinguish clearly between professional and personal life. The chapter then explores the idea of assigning specific spaces for specific activities, advocating for a one space, one use mantra. This can mean having a separate room for work or dividing a room into different zones for distinct activities. The versatility of technology, while beneficial, can sometimes blur these lines, making it difficult to associate a device with a single habit or task. Clearly presents a compelling argument. To cultivate habits that are stable and predictable, it is essential to create an environment that mirrors these qualities. By making deliberate changes to our surroundings, we can influence our behaviors in profound and lasting ways. So today, in our exploration of Chapter 6, Motivation is Overrated, Environment Often Matters More, from James Clear's influential book, Atomic Habits, we uncovered the profound impact our environment has on our habits. Clear illuminates how small adjustments in our surroundings can significantly influence our behavior over time. We learned that the cues initiating our habits are often deeply embedded in our environment, making them more potent when they are conspicuous and align with our goals. We discovered that creating a new environment, or even making slight changes to our existing one, can facilitate the development of new, desired habits, while preventing the persistence of unwanted ones. By designing our surroundings to make the cues for good habits clearly visible, we can naturally guide ourselves towards better behaviors. Remember, our environment shapes us, often more than our own willpower. Adjusting our surroundings can be the key to unlocking the full potential of our habits. Stay tuned for more insights as we continue delving into atomic habits. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more empowering content.